Hi, class. Welcome to week 3 of Principles of Coaching. This week we're talking about communication and behavior. Communication as a coach is extremely important. We want to be able to effectively communicate with our athletes the points that we're trying to make, and we need our athletes to be able to understand what we are communicating. The best coaches in the world are some of the best communicators, meaning they get their players to understand the message and get the most out of their players. So communication is huge, and hopefully as you read through these chapters and do some of the discussion, and we even have you guys are going to write a paper on a sports movie that you guys are going to watch, and really want you guys to pay attention to how the coach is communicating and what are some of the positives and negatives to that. So communication as a coach is extremely important. And we also want to communicate in a positive way. We want to communicate in a positive way. We want to have a positive approach. Oftentimes some of the best coaches I've seen praise the type of behavior you're looking for. So if you're wanting a player to set a screen a certain way in basketball, or in soccer, if you're wanting a player to kick the ball a certain way or defend a certain way, or whatever your sport is, you need to reinforce when you see a player doing it well. You got to call that player out and praise them in front of the team, and that's one way to really communicate in a positive way. Then the whole team knows what you're looking for, and everybody wants to be praised, right? I mean, we all want to be praised for the job we're doing. So if you're seeing your teammate get called out in a positive way, that's going to make you want to hopefully reenact that and do that. And in order to avoid negative communication, I think it's important not to put unrealistic expectations on your team. So if your goal as a coach is, I'm going to help my team be the best as they can be. And for some teams, you might not have a team that's very skilled or talented. That might, your best, if you have a 30-game season, your best might be only winning a couple games. But if you got better each and every day, that's the most important thing. So I think it's really important to not have unrealistic expectations on your team. Your expectation needs to be, I'm going to try to get better and better each day, and I'm going to try to get the most out of each individual player and and the team as a whole. Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as though you're working for the Lord and not for men. I want my players to have that mindset that we're just coming in, we're going to work hard, and we're going to give the best we can for the Lord and let the outcome fall where it may. It shouldn't necessarily be about winning and losing. It should be about, you're going to do everything you can, and if you control the controllables, you have great attitude and great effort, you're not going to make every shot all the time. You're not going to never turn the ball over. You're going to make mistakes. But if you have great attitude and effort, those things need to be praised. I see all the time, when I'm out recruiting, I'll be watching over the summer, I'll be watching a lot of club coaches that are coaching their team, and I'll, a bad player will go in and miss a layup, and you'll see the coach put his head down and put his hands on his head, and he can't believe it. And I'm watching the coach, I'm just, like, the player's not very good. Like, of course he's gonna miss a layup sometimes. He's not going in trying to miss a layup. We're always, as a coach, you're always communicating something. So what does that player think? If that player went in and did the best he could to make that layup and he missed it, and he looks over and sees his coach with his hands in his head, what's that player thinking? The coach should only, from my perspective, should only get upset if the player did not give his best effort. If the player gave his best effort and he went in and missed a layup, then you should be applauding that player and just say, hey, get the next one, or have a next play mentality. So I think those are just some things to think about as you think about communicating with your team and communicating in a positive way. Also going to talk a little bit about positive discipline, and talks about positive discipline in chapter 8, instruction, training, and correction. I think this is really important as well, and you guys will write a little bit about this in your discussions. But effective discipline begins with instruction. We can't come in and just assume that our athletes know exactly what they need to do all the time and have all the answers. We can't at any level. I mean, at the college level, we can't just assume that our players come in and know a bunch of stuff that we're expecting them to know. They might not. And you need to instruct your players and give them good instruction and constantly be teaching them. So you want to instruct them, and then you want to train. You want to train that. You want to rep it. And when you see them make a mistake, when you see a player make a mistake, you want to correct it and say, hey, you made a mistake doing this, and this is more what we're looking for. And think about your communication style. Think about your communication style and how you're going to go about making that correction. Are you going to be somebody that is yelling at them and degrading them? Are you going to be somebody that is afraid to say something because it's your best player and you don't want to say anything to your best player because you're worried they might get mad? Or are you going to have an appropriate communication style, which is another part of discussion 1 that you guys are going to look at and discuss as well. So really important. Those communication and positive communication, positive discipline, I think are some really important things. I heard it said once from a coach, if you're not coaching it, you're allowing it to happen. If you're not coaching it, you're allowing it to happen. So if I'm coaching my team on the floor and I see a player doing a drill a certain way and I don't want him doing that, and I don't go and correct him, then essentially I'm allowing that to happen, and essentially I'm coaching that behavior. So we don't want to coach behavior, or we don't want to coach behavior that isn't right. If our players are doing something wrong, we need to effectively communicate the right way and how to go about them making that change. So those are a couple things to look at this week. Also going to have you guys watch a movie, and as you're watching the movie, a sports movie, you guys got some options there. If there's another one that comes to your mind, let me know so I can approve it. But want you guys to watch the coaches and how they communicate with their team, and how they correct their team, and take some of the positives and negatives from that as you go about writing your paper this week. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know if you have any questions, and looking forward to diving into week 3 on communication and behavior.